Yeah. Okay, so if I want, what should I play?
You were looking at the Seraph. Is that something you want to do? Or is it
I mean, a healer is typically my go-to.
Mhm.
Should I do a healer? Because the platform is unfamiliar.
Maybe we should find out a little bit about the world itself so we know what would...
We're making the world. Remember that?
Yeah, I do
That's
remember.
the point of the framework. Now, I've got a great idea for something that might be fun, but we need to talk about, do we want to go hopeful? Do we want to go apocalyptic? Do we want to go redemption?
I mean, your apocalyptic have been fun in the past. Favor and Reborn was apocalyptic, right?
Yeah.
And that was fun.
And there's post and pre-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
so there's the idea of being pre versus post. I think post-apocalyptic settings are a lot of fun because it allows you to introduce as much of the idea of an old world without having to be like set in stone with what you
because
find.
some of it can be lore that like, oh my god, it was
lost
legend, but some of
knowledge.
it was lost knowledge, and then you find it. Yeah. So I remember Favor and Reborn was really fun, and that was a post-apocalyptic.
I like a post-apocalyptic. I like hopeful.
Yeah, but that's usually.
Put your phone over there.
Oh, sorry.
But
I don't need it on the table.
Yeah.
I just
in case.
Wandered,
just
so
in case. I mean, the numbers look good. All that looks good. So. Oh, okay. Let me get this going.
There's some part of me.
The evil part?
I mean, that's not of the evil. I think.
The evil part?
Well, I've been wearing my mushroom hat to these games all the time, right?
Yeah.
And we were playing in the Exandrian world and stuff, right? And I would wear my mushroom hat, and I was playing a living tree. I'm like, what if I inspired them?
Oh my god!
The fungal?
I are still rails about that. Love it. If you're not a crab, then you're a fucking tree. And what's really funny is in the Baldur's Gate game, he finally has a pet.
He has a pet.
He has a pet. Should totally give him shit for that. Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday Night Adventures. We are going to be doing a session 0 with 2 of our players. I forgot to correct names. Hold on a sec.
Oh, who am I?
Well, no, we're not. Well, you're Carolyn.
Oh, I know.
Yours I did. I forgot to do Callista's.
I was kind of
You
hoping
forgot my name?
Yeah.
Like maybe
Why am I not surprised?
Because it's plausible deniability.
I'm glad they brought the Fungal Network back. You have to roll for it, but I'm glad they brought that back because that was a really cool thing that they had in the first iteration we played, and then they changed it in the second one. I like that.
Well, I always thought it interesting that the Fungrel, it keeps rolling off the tongue like Fun Girl. See, you can't really do that with Myconid, right? There's no play on words with Myconid.
But they always have the fun guy because that's how it's
fun girl, fun guy.
Yeah.
Just saying, rolls right off the tongue.
Yep. There's jokes for that.
So we're doing 0 session Daggerheart and World Confirmation Framework tonight. We're gonna see. You don't technically roll up characters in Daggerheart, so we're actually gonna go through the guidebook that they provide in the core rule book, which, honey, can you hand me the core rule book for a second? And these two lovely ladies came in early to the studio and sorted all the cards, or most of the cards.
We need more cases.
We need more sleeves and stuff like that,
tomorrow.
which will be in tomorrow. But so the core rule book is really broken up into what is that? I don't want to open a file. Why are you doing that to me?
Here it goes.
Oh, there it is. So the core rule book is broken up into Chapter 1, preparing for the adventure. Chapter 2, playing an adventure. Chapter 3, running the adventure. And Chapter 4, adversaries and environments. And then Chapter 5 is the frames. Now, one of the things I love about their book, I do not buy a lot of hardcover books. I tend to only focus on digital because it's the world I grew up in as far as coming out of 1.0, 2.0, and 3.5, and then getting into 5e. I went right into digital content. So, but the thing that they did that I love, they color-coded the sections of the book. So when you look at the pages, you can go, oh yeah, it's in that section because of the color code, which I absolutely love that. It's subtle, but that, it's awesome that they did that. So we technically do not roll up characters. We create characters. And we're going to follow the getting started guide in the core rulebook because I want everyone to get that feel for what we're doing and character construction. We'll touch on mechanics tonight too because I think the Hope and Fear system. So Daggerheart is the TTRPG game. They use what's called the Hope and Fear system, which has another name for it too. It's in the book. It's not that important. I like to call it the Hope and Fear system, which is basically 2d12s. Real simple. You roll 2d12s to beat the DC or to hit someone or whatever result you're looking for. If you roll the highest, if the number that's rolled, if the fear die is highest, then you roll with fear. If the hope die is highest, you roll with hope. All doubles are pretty much like gambler's luck. All doubles in Daggerheart are automatic criticals. Critical successes. So even if the DC is a 15 and you roll double 2s, it's a critical success. So, which is pretty cool. What's interesting, and I need to look it up in the book, if you roll critical success with doubles, no one earns hope or fear because it's a critical success because neither dice is higher. I wonder.
I think you get a hope because of it.
I think you get a hope because of criticals. I think it defaults to hope. If I last remember seeing some walkthroughs.
I might have to look, but I think it defaults to hope.
I think it does too.
They made
No, you get more than one hope. I think with critical you get more than one hope.
a clear stress or something.
Yeah, it's a clear stress. You gain a hope.
Or is that only when you died?
No. It's a critical. So whenever you get a critical, there's three things that happen. You gain a hope, or you get more than what you want. You succeed at excellent. You gain a hope, and you clear stress. So I remember that part. So the first thing we're going to do with getting started is two things I love about the book. We were playing Grimoires the Unseen, and they use a difficulty check system. This uses a difficulty check system. Dungeons and Dragons uses a difficulty check system. And I think the DC system is here to stay. And it helps this game be very familiar. The fact that the DC system is in this game will definitely help it feel familiar to players. Now, the game itself is heavy on resource management. That's giving a lot of the consent and license back to the players because they get to manage their own resources and try to be the heroes that they want to be. It's also optimized for co-op play and storytelling. So if you don't like co-op play, you don't like storytelling, and you don't want to resource manage your character, this game is definitely not going to be for you. But we're going to run through the character creation and let you get a feel for that. Then we'll talk about some of the more simplistic mechanics, and then we're going to talk about the campaign framework that we're building, and we're going with post-apocalyptic, I believe.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic.
With
With a little bit of hope.
Yeah, with hope, like, maybe we can fix this problem. I like hope.
Or maybe you just learn to live with the way the world is.
I don't want to be that jaded, man. You want me to make a jaded character? I can make a jaded character.
You name a character
you don't
Jade,
wanna,
except we've already had a Jade.
You don't want to see me when I'm jaded.
Yes.
Okay, so critical success. When you roll...
By the way, if anyone out there is listening, can you check our audio for us? Last session, it sounded really good, but we always like to double check it because some of us leave telephones on the table near microphone cables.
This is next to my
I'm
computer
aware.
cable.
I'm aware.
The microphone
But normally I
cable
have you check.
is right here.
I normally have you test the audio for me.
I know. Okay, so every time I move my phone, it's tweaking this cord. So it's not charging. I am testing the audio, and then I will go through and read the critical success that I found. That is on page 90 of the rule book.
Page 90, you say? I shall. Sounds good.
Fine.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Carolyn, speak.
Greetings, my fellow adventurers. Are you ready for a story?
You can actually hear her.
Yep.
Holy shit. Go fig.
Okay, but I have to turn that off my phone because my phone is going to die.
Critical success. When you roll the duality dice and both dice roll the same number, that's a critical success. A critical success counts as a roll with hope, even if you would have otherwise failed because of the total is lower than the roll's difficulty. When you critically succeed on a roll, along with gaining a hope, you also clear a stress from your character sheet. Additionally, when you have critically succeeded on an attack roll, you deal extra damage as described in the damage roll section on page 98. I did remember something. I remembered something.
I have knowledge.
I have knowledge. Because knowledge is power.
Together, unite.
Shape of a bucket. Shape of water. Wonder Twins.
Activate.
Activate.
They had the best power out of all the superheroes. I'm still not sure. Were they an alien superhero from another world, I think?
Or they had alien powers. Kind of like
So what's very different about creating your character in Daggerheart is you immediately, step one, you choose your class. That's the very first step. And we'll go through.
Class first. Are you going to be classy or classless?
So one of the big differences between this, well, I don't want to do compares. I want to talk about the simplicity of the character development. I think the character development for Daggerheart is designed to be simple at the front so that you can be super creative on the back end. And we'll get to that point. So you have Bard, right? You have Bard. You can either be a troubadour or a wordsmith, because that's subclasses for bards. And we do know, if you go to Daggerheart.com, there is a community section called The Void, where they do a lot of play testing. So we do know more subclasses are coming, more classes are coming. This was play tested with a very deep and rich community. Something that I think other companies need to learn how to do. I think what we've got is the core, and over time, there's going to be expansions that come out. And I think the ones that, if you go read The Void on Daggerheart.com, I think they talk about a lot of the subclasses for main classes in the core rulebook are actually going to be free to download in the future. Another thing on Daggerheart.com, which is absolutely amazing, you can create your own cards. So they have a card generator. So as subclasses and new classes are created, you can go into their card generator and create your own cards. It's pretty epic. It's pretty fun. I went in there and did that a couple times.
Okay,
so if you haven't checked out Daggerheart.com, be sure to do. There's a lot of resources there for you.
Maybe I want to do a ranger that's beastbound.
Because then you'll have your own pet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can draw your picture for them and put them on there.
So Bard, you can play the troubadour or the wordsmith. The druid, play the warden of the elements, or play the warden of renewal.
And the word
Renewal
renewal
sounds good.
heals.
Yeah, renewal. If you want to use powerful magic to heal your party, now that's interesting. Like a true healing druid.
Mhm.
Like there's never, like, I mean, you could be 12 different kinds of druids in D&D, but none of them ever seem like they want to heal.
I did.
Well, yeah, that was you, but your subclass wasn't built specifically for healing.
No, the character.
You almost had to force it to do it to a certain degree. Well, somewhat.
She
'Cause
likes
you were
forcing
also-
things.
Huh?
She likes forcing things.
Get that square peg.
Yeah, you got
Anyway.
a round hole. The Guardian, play the Stalwart or play the Vengeance. The Ranger, Eastbound or Wayfinder. Rogue, Nightwalker or Syndicate. Seraph, Divine Wielder or Winged Sentinel.
Oh, you can fly?
Remember when you play testing?
Can you imagine a flying?
Coming out of my
I
butt.
think that's what you kind of came to. No, you ended up playing a druid.
I was a druid.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I have the character Pia that we rolled up last time.
Sorcerer, Elemental Origin or Primal Origin. If you want to extend the diversity of your spells in powerful ways, that's Primal. Once again, Elemental Origin, if you want to channel the raw power of a particular element. Warrior, Call of the Brave, Call of the Slayer. Wizard, School of Knowledge or School of War. Now that's step one. So they really want you to pick your character class. And I think the reason why they want to do that is as soon as you start moving to step two, now that you know what you want to be, you can be more focused on building, not for optimization, but building with purpose, if that makes sense.
Also, each class has a different character sheet that shows how much HP you have.
Correct.
And
Well, those are all the pre-generated ones. So
Yeah.
there's blank ones and then pre-gen. Yeah, that's the other. That's nice too. On Daggerheart.com, you can download all 22 sheets, and they're all pre-generated and built as Tier 1, Level 1 characters. So everything ready for you to
The
just.
ones that I'm showing are blank. Even for it's Druid, Beast Form.
Well, they are blank, but like if you look at the,
But they have all your.
it's like highlighted, which you
Right,
It has
right.
this written here
Right,
already. I
right.
don't have to write it out.
No, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
And on the second page for Druid, for instance, it has
Step
all my
2 is.
forms.
So step 1 is choose your class, record your level, record your character details, and your class feature. Every class begins with a unique class feature or several. You don't have to write these features down. They're provided at the bottom left of each class character sheet. They are features available only to your class if your class feature asks you to make a selection during character creation. Make it before your first session. So you're going Druid, right?
Yeah.
So in the bottom right-hand corner of your character sheet, supposedly there's a class feature.
Beast form and wild touch.
And what do they do?
Okay, so the beast form allows me, if I mark a stress, I can put a beast form that is on the
Nice.
tier 1 if I'm level 1, tier 2 if I'm 2 through 4. Anyways, and it allows me to turn into one of these beast forms. I can't cast spells like normal, and I can't use any of my abilities. But let's see. You got their evasion bonus to your evasion. Basically, you take. It's kind of like the D&D beast form that you take them on, but your armor is the same as theirs. So you marking armor off because you absorb your armor.
Oh, gotcha.
So
okay,
it just carries over.
gotcha.
I think it said. I think if you mark your last hit point, you automatically drop out of this form. Yeah. So
Are you
I
going to
think
be the Healy Druid? Or are you going to be the not Healy Druid?
I'd like to look at both of them, but I'm leaning towards the healing one.
Okay.
So you're leaning towards.
I'd have to look at
Warden of Renewal?
Warden of Renewal. Okay, that's cool. That Warden of Renewal in the rulebook is a clank. That's kind of cool. So step 1 is done, right? We've all chosen our class and subclass.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go pet.
So you're going to go Ranger,
Beastbound.
okay,
Yeah.
and Druid Renewal.
If we have someone who's going to do heals,
So
then I'm gonna
heritage, do I put that under heritage or subclass?
No, that's subclass.
Well,
Yeah,
I have to go
subclass.
get my printout because I just printed. Oh, hopefully it printed it in the right way.
Is the cards
I'm
here
on the
for
right way.
renewal or something? So I can look at them?
These are Druid.
Warden of Elements, renewal.
And those are Druid.
It's almost like she knew Druid was going to be used.
Well, I did mention it. It's not here.
Now for step 2, you choose your heritage.
Okay, yeah.
And your heritage is made up of your ancestry and your community. So ancestry, a character's ancestry reflects their lineage, impacting their physicality and granting them 2 unique features. Pick the card for one of the following ancestries, then write its name in the heritage field of your character sheet. So Clank, Dracona, Dwarf, Elf, Fairy, Fawn, Furbog, Fungrel, Galapa, Giant, Goblin, Halfling, Human, Infernus, Katari, Orc, Ribbit, and Simia. So another thing I love about Daggerheart is that your lineage matters. Like when you pick a lineage and it matches with your class and subclass, because of your lineage, there's certain things you automatically get to do because of your lineage. And I like that. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, they tried to do that with the newer D&D.
Well, they did with backgrounds.
Yeah.
They brought in backgrounds for 2024.
Simia, which is what I'm wanting to do. So I'm going to be a monkey that has an animal companion.
Oh my god, a monkey with a pet monkey. That would be brilliant. Or you got to ride on the back of a tiger. I mean,
Monkey
on the back of a tiger. I mean,
riding to a tiger.
I mean, technically the Simia is
we have a
anthropomorphic,
tiger?
so I mean, you could be.
What do we have?
We have tigers.
I know we have a
Tigers,
dire-
lions, bears, wolves. We've got all the minis for them.
I know we have a dire wolf.
I mean, you could ride a giant cobra if you want.
Ooh, yeah, let's do a giant cobra.
You want to ride a giant cobra?
I think you have a lion too.
Yeah, I've got a lion. I've got a pig. An owl bear. I pretty much have them all. You can ride a yeti.
Okay, I'll have a yeti.
You can call yourselves Master Blaster.
Does it? You have an animal companion of your choice at the GM's discretion. They stay by your side unless you tell them otherwise.
So you're going Simia. Okay, what are you going? Fungrel? Okay, Fungrel.
And then, if that wasn't obvious.
So then you choose your community. Next, you'll choose a community from the available community cards. Your character's community is influenced by its physical locations, values, and goals. It informs the culture your character grew up in and might play a part in the way they look, act, or approach situations. Each community comes with a feature that you can utilize during the game. Take the card for one of the following communities, then write its name in the heritage field of your character sheet.
What are the community?
There are Highborn,
Right here.
Loreborn,
What would you
Orderborn, Ridgeborn, Seaborn, Slyborn, Underborn, Wanderborn, and Wildborn. What's the back of those cards look like? They just have the Daggerheart logo on them? Oh yeah, it's just the Daggerheart logo. Because the other cards have the class logo and or domain logo on them, I believe.
So it's like one of each of them for us both to look at.
Yes, there are 2 sets of the community cards
Oh, good.
in the.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Highborn, what's a Highborn do?
Being part of a highborn community means you're accustomed to a life of elegance, opulence, and prestige within the upper echelons of society. The thing that it gives you is privilege. You have advantage on ways to consort with nobles, negotiate prices, or leverage your reputation to get what you want.
Do you know who I am?
No, that I'm going to run.
Roll 2 ones. That's a critical success.
Loreborn. Being part of a Loreborn community means you're from a society that favors strong academic or political prowess. You get well-read. You have advantage on roles that involve the history, culture, or politics of a prominent person or place. Okay, what did I pick last time? I picked Wildborn last time. Orderborn. Being part of an Orderborn community means you're from a collective that focuses on discipline or faith, and you uphold a set of principles that reflect your experience there. So you get dedicated. Record 3 sayings or values your upbringing instilled in you once per rest when you describe how you're embodying one of these principles through your current action. You can roll a d20 as your hope die.
Oh, kind of like that, because if you're a cleric and you do something like that, it like gives you more reason to be prayery.
Mm-hmm. Ridgeborn. Being part of a Ridgeborn community means you've called the rocky peaks and sharp cliffs of the mountainside home. You get steady. You have.
They don't have clerics.
They have certain clerics. You have advantage on rolls to traverse dangerous cliffs and ledges, navigate harsh environments, and use your survival knowledge. Seaborn. Being part of a seaborn community means you lived on or near a large body of water. Know the tide. You can sense the ebb and flow of life. When you roll with fear, place a token on this card. You can hold a number of tokens equal to your level. Before you make an action roll, you can spend any number of these tokens to gain a +1 bonus to the roll for each token spent. At the end of each session, clear all unspent tokens.
That almost might be necessary for me. Not saying I should choose this just because of my bad rolling, but
Slyborn?
Yeah, but that makes fear work for you.
Yeah, no,
rather than just for him.
No.
Slyborn. Being part of a Slyborn community means you come from a group that operates outside of the law, including all manner of criminals, grifters, and con artists. You get scoundrel. You have advantage on rolls to negotiate with criminals, detect lies, or find a safe place to hide. Underborn. That means that you were born prematurely.
It makes you born in your underwear.
If you're undercover before you're born.
That's what premature. Yeah.
Underborn. Born in your underwear.
Okay.
Or this is their version of the Underdark.
Yeah. Being part of an underborn community means you're from a subterranean society. Low light living. When you're in an area with low light or heavy shadow, you have advantage on rolls to hide, investigate, or perceive details within that area.
Ooh, I like that.
I might want that.
Wanderborn.
Wanderborn. Being part of a Wanderborn community means you've lived as a nomad, foregoing a permanent home and experiencing a wide variety of cultures. You get Nomadic Pact. Add a Nomadic Pact to your inventory. Once per session, you can spend a hope to reach into the pack and pull out a mundane item that's useful to your situation. Work with the GM to figure out what item you take out.
That's cool.
I love the creativity of that, because that's what I chose last time.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
And Wildborn, which is what I chose last time. Being part of a Wildborn community means you lived deep within the forest, and you get Lightfoot. Your movement is naturally silent. You have advantage on rolls to move without being heard, which is what I picked last time.
It is.
And they did change some of it.
You have the old one in there?
I do. What they took out was spend a hope to also grant this ability to an ally while they stay within very.
I noticed that a lot of the community don't spend hope anymore.
Okay.
Have you noticed that too? Like if you all your advantages or your benefits have more to do with the physical environment and less to do with hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we were play testing it, there were a lot more hope options in the community.
Seems like the only thing you can use hope now is to help other people, or because you can't help yourself anymore with hope.
Right.
It's you can help other people, or there was one other thing.
So which community are you guys going with?
I think I might choose Underborn.
Underborn?
Because I like the idea of a bioluminescent myconoid.
I like it.
I'm still going with Wildborn.
Wildborn?
Yeah.
Okay. Languages. In Daggerheart, you're not asked to pick a specific language for your character. This game assumes that everyone speaks a common language. It's up to you whether that's through mundane or magical means. And and that sign language is widely understood across the cultures and communities. If you'd like to have specific regional languages in your campaign, discuss options with the table. Languages? Everyone cool with the core on languages?
I speak world.
God, I hope not. It sounds painful to be doing that for a whole campaign.
Some of my, I don't think the top.
I don't think fungrels have lips, do they?
I'm sure they do.
And what's interesting is we're now at step 3, and even though we've done our class, our subclass, our community, and we've done our ancestry, we're just now in step 3 doing character traits, which is the equivalent of ability scores. And we don't roll for those. We assign those based off of a common distribution of trait modifiers. So assign character traits is step 3. Next, you'll assign the values to the character traits on your character sheet. These values reflect your natural or trained ability in each of the core 6 stats: agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, and knowledge. Each trait lists verbs such as sprint, leap, and maneuver. That shows the types of actions a character might perform that involve that trait. These examples are just inspiration. It shouldn't limit how each trait can be used. So we have agility, strength, agility, sprint, leap, maneuver, strength, lift, smash, grapple, finesse, control, hide, tinker, instinct, perceive, sense, navigate, presence, charm, perform, deceive, and then knowledge, recall, analyze, comprehend. Those are obviously all short versions just to kind of help you with your expectations.
Understand
Trait modifiers are the values associated with each trait. When you make an action roll using one of those traits, that trait's modifier is added to the roll to determine the final result, or subtracted from the roll for a negative modifier. Distribute the following starting modifiers across your character's traits in any order that you wish. So you get a +2, +1, +1, 0, 0, and a -1. Now, because you already know your class, your subclass, your ancestry, and your community, if you are I think in your class, it should tell you what your primary focus is, correct?
Yeah, on the second sheet for most people, or the fourth one for a druid, it'll say at the top the suggested traits.
So for the druid, what are the suggested traits?
+1 for agility, 0 for strength, +1 for finesse, 2 for instinct, because that's where most of its good stuff is coming from.
Right.
-1 for presence. That's your charm, everybody. And
no charisma, druids. No charisma.
That's all right.
Especially when you look like a mushroom. Well, I mean, to the average person, you can look like a salad. So,
Okay, my suggested one is -1 to presence.
Same. We're gonna have no charisma. We're gonna walk into town and be like, "Can we help you? I hate everything about you. Get out of here."
Just means anything you attempt at is just a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
All that
Okay,
means.
so I'm suggested +1 or +2 to agility,
Okay. Makes sense.
+0 to strength, +1 to finesse, +1 to instinct, -1 to presence, and 0 to knowledge.
Same here. We have no knowledge, no presence.
So when distributing these modifiers, consider what actions you want your character to be good at, what weapon you want to use for your attacks, and what kind of spell casting you'll be doing, if any. Weapons and spells are covered in future sections, but the character guide for your class offers suggested placement for your modifiers if you want a starting point. You can also rearrange your modifiers as needed during character creation, as well as after your first few sessions of play. See, I like that because I've always done that with D&D games. I've always been like, if you didn't like that feat, if you didn't like that feature, or if you want to retcon something within the first 5 to 6 levels of your character, go for it because, you may accidentally fall out of love with your character. So here they explicitly say, after the first few sessions, you can still tinker with your traits if you want to. If you ever need to refer to your trait modifiers as values, if a card or effect reference your agility, presence, etc., A +2 would be considered 2, and a -1 still would be considered -1. For example, if a domain card tells you to place a number of tokens equal to your character's knowledge on that card, and their knowledge is +3, you would place 3 tokens on the card. If they have a negative modifier on that trait, you instead would place no tokens on the card, unless otherwise noted.
Okay, so negative is 0.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So you guys got your traits all written down? Ish. Step 4, record additional character information. Evasion. Your character's evasion reflects how hard it is for adversaries to hit them. Your class's starting evasion appears right beneath the evasion field on your character sheet. Copy this number into the evasion field. When an adversary makes an attack against your character, the GM rolls against their evasion to see if the adversary succeeds. You can choose how your character's evasion manifests within the narrative. A wizard might avoid blows with shimmering arcane shields, or bat away an adversary's spells, while a ranger nimbly dodges out of the way of attacks, and a warrior parries, blocks, and dodges. Your character's evasion starts low, but that's because it's not their only means of avoiding damage. If they're hit, you'll also have the opportunity to reduce the incoming damage using armor. That's another thing. Armor has value in this game, which I love. Because, there's nothing like having an armor class 20 and someone rolls a 26. You're like, okay, it hits me. Mm-hmm. So we roll a 32. Okay, it hits me. It's more fun when they barely hit you, like when they roll a 20. But in this, your empty armor slots determine how you can reduce damage coming towards you.
As a Simia, I get advantage on agility rolls that involve balancing and climbing, and nimble, it says gain a permanent +1 bonus to your evasion at character creation. So
which refers back up earlier that
starts at 12.
Okay.
So I get 13.
Nice. Because you're a Simia.
+1 for my ancestry.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Okay.
I get 10. Pretty sure that's easy to hit.
Well,
aren't you a fun grill?
Well, but remember, it's all about resource management with this game. So it's like, even though your evasion's a 10, if you've got decent armor, you can absorb those hits. That way, when you get hit, the damage that you take lowers your threshold, therefore lowers your likelihood of taking hit points. Mm-hmm. So, once again, it's all about resource management. You can either, you could choose to take the hit and keep your armor intact, or your armor takes damage and therefore it reduces the threshold for your hit point loss.
It says it starts at 10. How do you increase your evasion?
You can you can choose how your character's evasion manifests, obviously. Your character evasion starts low, but that's because it's not their only means of avoiding damage. So you might find a magical item that could increase your evasion. I haven't fully read through the tiering up the leveling system yet, but I think there's ways in the leveling system.
So it's not attached to your agility in this game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it ever was in this game.
D&D brain.
Right, yeah, it's just a base number that you start with, and your ancestry and your community could impact that evasion. Your class and your subclass could impact that as well. I think that's why they had you read the class feature, because they said that if your class feature gives you any benefits or bonuses during character creation, be sure to note those benefits and bonuses.
I can get evasion bonuses in beast forms. Additionally, you gain beast form features, add their evasion bonus to your evasion, and use the trait specified on their stats.
So if your evasion is 10,
so
and you turn into a cat.
Let's see.
Let's say you turn into a tiger.
A cat. It's it has household friend, which is cat, dog, rabbit, etc. Right. You get a +1 to instinct, +2 to evasion.
There you go. Mm-hmm. So your 10 goes to a 12.
That makes sense.
So
and I do use their attack. It's my attack.
Yep.
Can you imagine a rabbit attacking for a D8? Just started
Hey,
that.
I've seen the Holy Grail. It's lethal. What are we saying, Callista?
We're level 1.
Yep, we are level 1. Because leveling doesn't like break the bank with this game, because the highest level is 10. And the leveling system is more interesting because it's all about your tier that you're in. So when you go from level 1 to level 2 and you become tier 2 within, I think, levels 2 and 3, right? So it's all about what you gain within that tier component. And
If looking at 2, the tier 2 is 2 to 4 levels, tier 3 is 5 to 7, and tier 4 is 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's only a 10 level system.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Well, it's I like what you gain from the tier,
Mhm.
like the tier that you're in. So even though tier 2 is 2 and 3, levels 2 and 3, like going from level 1 to level 2 is like a huge like thing that you get.
Yeah.
A lot of other games, they're in brackets of 3 levels before it matters. Like, level 3, level 5.
And you can choose anything
level...
in there that you want to add.
Yeah,
you get to
that's
choose
pretty
2 of
cool.
them.
It doesn't force you to have to take something. And it also introduces you to the idea of the beginning of the build out of your character, which is your card stacking. And we'll get into more about that because resting in this game has value. Like
It
a
doesn't
lot of
completely
value.
fix you.
Not only does it not completely fix you, but it makes sense that you can repair your armor, you can, you can choose to reduce your stress, or you can, like, there's all this resource management you get to do during your rest period. And you're not, and this came up in my Friday night Dominion War game, because they're all level 10 in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And they were making fun of the fact that, they took like 84 points of damage. But don't worry, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you'll be fine.
It's like, I lost 3 I lost 3 limbs and I'm bleeding out. And
but I just need to rest.
yeah, I need to sleep this off. I'll be fine in the morning.
So evasion, we did that.
About the armor. It says this is just armor for me is leather armor.
Well, that's step 5. You're getting ahead of
Oh,
them.
because I thought you said armor. Sorry.
No, tangent cam.
You said armor. I just thought we were on that next.
No. So hit points and stress. Your character's health and well-being are represented by hit points and stress. Hit points, sometimes called HP, are an abstract reflection of your physical fortitude and ability to take hits from both blade and magic. Each class starts with a set number of hit points. Stress reflects your ability to withstand the pressures of dangerous situations and mental strain. Every class starts with 6 stress.
You put that in the first little bot here?
2, 3,
Doesn't say.
4,
Oh, no,
5,
sorry.
6. Now you fill them in. If you have them, you erase them when you lose them.
Correct.
Or X? Or
No. You fill them in when you use them.
Okay.
You fill them in when you use them.
That way you don't.
And you erase them when you rest.
Okay.
Hope and fear. Hope and fear are currencies used by the players and the GM to represent the way fate turns for or against the characters during the game. You start with 2 hope. Mark these in hope field on your character sheet. Anytime you roll with hope on your duality dice, meaning your hope die rolled higher than your fear die, you gain a hope to a maximum of 6. During the game, you can spend hope to help your character's allies apply their life experiences to challenges and empower their spells and abilities. So there's plenty of opportunities to spend hope. If you instead roll with fear on your duality dice, meaning your fear die rolled higher than your hope die, the GM gains a fear. They then can spend on certain effects. Sometimes a fear roll introduces other complications into a scene, even if you succeeded on your roll.
So we mark 2 hope in here. We fill in 2.
You automatically start with 2 hope.
Oh, that's nice.
Step 5. Choose your starting equipment. Next, you'll choose starting weapons, armor, and other items for your character. Choose your weapons. You use physical weapons to attack your foes, and if you have a spellcast trait, such as from your subclass, you can also wield magic weapons. At character creation, you can choose either a two-handed primary weapon or a one-handed primary weapon, and a one-handed secondary weapon, then equip them. You can find weapon suggestions at the top of your character guide, but if you'd like to choose your own, you can find all the starting Tier 1 weapons in the primary weapon table and secondary weapon table sections in Chapter 2. These are also available as a separate sheet to print out from the Daggerheart website or in the appendix.
I wonder if they've changed it all, because I still have the old one still in here. I didn't print that one out.
Don't know.
I'll have to probably look at it for sure.
At level 1, your proficiency is 1. This means you'll roll 1 damage die for your weapon attacks in the active weapons area of your character sheet. This is recorded in the proficiency field. Remember how much we struggled with proficiency? Because we were so mired in the D&D concept of proficiency? We struggled so hard.
After all.
Oh, great. This
Is he
gonna
coming?
be fun.
No.
Okay.
And by that I mean a driver that would not be emotionally charged while driving.
Oh, there you go. That'll
Hey,
do
on
it.
Uber.
You want to know what you get for showing up and being here like a responsible D&D player?
Get thrown right into battle.
No.
Sure.
No, he
It's
just
that
had
thing that I said
place.
I'd give you. Boom. Now you can listen to things on the go. Thank you.
What'd you give him?
Basically one of these.
My old earbuds died.
He
no.
hasn't been using them. It's like I was telling him, it's like you can listen to all this stuff and learn all about this, on the
Thank you.
YouTube thing. So you can,
Heck yeah.
and it's like, oh, I don't have headbuds. Like, they're really cheap. I'll buy you a pair. These ones last forever.
Hey, I go to $5 Fred all the time, or $5 Chuck, or five below. Yeah, 5 something. You can get earbuds and whatever there for.
Amazon, they have like a battery
But
life.
I don't want to wait.
But the battery,
5 Below's right there.
Yeah, the battery life lasts literally like 200 plus hours.
You don't understand how much he doesn't have patience.
It literally came the next day,
I don't have patience.
and I could have had it come
I
out
have
the same day.
victims.
So what is everyone else?
I think it's
I'm doing a ranger monkey, Simia.
Guess what my
Okay,
race
so
is?
we got healing covered.
She wants to do a druid. We don't have a seraph yet,
Which is the healer.
which is the healer.
I'm doing
It'd be a lot easier if your buddy was here.
He likes to smoke. So he's like, I can't sit in a room for 4 hours and not have a cigarette. I'm like,
Yeah, that means he smells like cigarettes.
yeah. So I was like, got it.
Cigarettes
okay, no
and beer, right?
No.
Never
Just
mind.
cigarettes?
Okay,
Cigarettes and Monster.
that's okay. We'll find another person.
See, I'm going to do a word of renewal for the druid, so it's a Healy druid.
You can look at the
those.
communities. So there's guardian, wizard, warrior, rogue, seraph, and sorcerer.
That's a good pop quiz.
I'm gonna go Sarah.
So you're going to be Healy too?
And then there is
No, unless he goes paladin style.
divine,
He's going to go.
divine
right.
wielder or winged sentinel.
I think it's a winged sentinel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here is winged sentinel.
Are you going to be the flying monkey?
He's going to like.
I thought about being a Simeon. I really did.
I
I'm
mean-
really surprised she didn't choose going just so for the wing. No, for the wings.
Oh,
Oh,
I
so-
know. I thought about it,
I like.
but I chose
She chose
beast
pet
form.
over-
I chose
pet
pet over wings.
Jinx.
Got it.
Yeah, I was seriously thinking about being a flying monkey.
I'm druid because it seems difficult to figure
I was
out.
seriously thinking about being a flying monkey.
Okay, I get 2 extra
And
pages
I'm going
just
with
for my beast forms.
All right,
Yeah.
I will print
Yay.
him up.
I can only do this one for right now.
It's a seraph, right?
Yes.
I will look for
And-
seraph. There it is.
As for race, I was thinking. I was gonna go dragon, but I think it's much more. It's much more fun.
Dracana, you mean?
I'm gonna go Clank instead.
Oh, sweet.
I would
Okay.
like to praise the creators of this game one time. Right now, in the druid forms, even tier 1, very level 1, I can still turn into a fish.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I
Because
love
the
that.
druid rules in D&D sometimes confuse me.
It pisses me off that I have to wait to level 5 or 6 or something
to swim, to turn into a swimming creature. Yeah, it's kind
that
of weird.
bothers me. My campaign might not even last that long, and that might be in an ocean the whole time. That would piss me off.
So true.
It's so angry.
That's why when I've done anything that I have with a druid, and they haven't level cap yet.
Read Clank for me.
Yes.
Purple. Clanks are sick. Oh god. Sentient mechanical beings built from a variety of materials, including metal, wood, and stone. Purple. They should have had some thing before coming here.
Take a drink. Take a breath. You just rushed in here. We understand.
I can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm dead. Goodbye.
Try again.
Purposeful design. Decide who made you and for what purpose. At character creation, choose one of your experiences that best align with this purpose and gain a permanent +1 bonus to it. Efficient. When you take a short rest, you can choose a long rest move instead of a short rest.
See, Clanks. Yeah, that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic.
Also, I could be like, oh, hey.
What community are you going with?
Wildborn.
Wildborn?
We're going to have 2 Wildborn, because I picked Wildborn too.
And I'm Underborn. So wherever you guys are, I'm underneath you, infecting your forest.
Like fungus.
Yeah.
Are you a fungal?
Yeah, she's picking up
I'm a fungal druid.
You should have gone mixed race. That they show the display, the fungal tortoise.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there is. I want the stats of the fungal, but there is to say I can't.
Where the fungus was infecting the people. It's also a video game. Was it
Last of Us, yeah.
Now I'm imagining
the cordyceps.
Fungus.
The cordyceps.
The Last of Us infecting the galop.
So when you rolled in, we were
Galaga,
just reviewing.
Whatever it is.
We had wrapped up traits.
Galaga.
So the default trait is +2, +1, +1, 0, 0, -1, but your sheet will give you a suggestion to use.
The second page, up at the top, gives you a suggested traits.
Those will be best for your.
But it also says in the rules that in the first couple
sessions, you can still take her with them. You can even still take her with them throughout the remaining part of character creation.
Yeah. And then the evasion it starts at written underneath it, and it only ups if your character, anything in your character says to goes up.
You can gain bonuses from your ancestry or your community or your class or your subclass.
I get a pet. I think I'm going with Tiger. Or Direwolf.
And then we were wrapping up hit points and stress.
Can I have Direwolf again? Can I have a
And
Direwolf?
we were wrapping up Hope and Fear, and we're on equipment. So you start with 2 Hope.
Can I go in the dark?
That
Sure.
should be one of those experience.
Yeah,
things.
wait till we get there.
Okay.
Wait till we get there. Did you choose your weapons yet?
No.
No, but we don't have the sheet in front of us, but it does have a suggestion here,
It says a suggested primary weapon.
which we could probably change out later. We can add
That's
that.
fine.
Mine says short bow, agility bar, 2d6 plus 3 physical, and 2-handed.
Oh, and we finally get clarity on proficiency with the release of the core rulebook.
Nice.
At level 1, your proficiency is 1. This means you'll roll 1 damage die for your weapon attacks. In the active weapons area of your character sheet, this is recorded in the proficiency field.
Do you get a proficiency of 2 if you're level 2?
Yes.
But there isn't proficiencies for 10. There's only proficiencies for 6.
Well, we'll have to read the leveling up rules. Maybe it's not.
Because maybe it's something that you add to on your traits.
I mean, it just says at level 1, your proficiency is 1. So we won't know what that does until you're at level 2.
Let's look at the traits, or I guess
with the race cards. Race.
Didn't I hand you Clink?
You just read it.
Oh, you're right.
yeah. So
Holy sheet!
So if you look at the top of the
And
tiers,
you start off
and the
with
gray,
2 hope.
the gray, like this is what
Yeah,
you get aside from everything else. It says a +1 to your
Mark them
proficiency, a +1 to your a bonus 1 to your proficiency, a bonus 1. So it's, in each tier, it looks like you get one
Mine
So
says
you get a bonus to your proficiency as you level up.
when you reach new tiers.
2 to 4 is tier 2. 3 to
Mm.
5.
So at level
5 to
2,
7
you
is
gain
tier
additional
3.
experience +2 to gain a +1, +2 in experience and +1 to bonus.
To your proficiency.
Yeah.
At level 2,
Mhm.
gain an additional experience at +1 or +2, and gain a +1 to your proficiency.
Yeah. And then
What does it
at
say
5,
about level 3?
It just says that's the only one from 2 to 4.
Mhm.
And then at level 5,
So,
You
well,
gain an
you're missing a
additional-
point. So once you're in tier 2 and you keep leveling up, those are your level up options until you're out of tier 2.
yes,
So you're gaining a proficiency every level.
no, just at level
just
2.
as at level 2.
Really?
Here, take a
And
look.
then at level 5, it says you gain another.
Well,
bonus.
that's an error. That's got to be an error because if you're going to put in the core rule book at level 1, your proficiency is 1. That means you roll 1 damage die for your weapon attacks. In the active weapons area of your character, this is recorded in the proficiency field. They make it see. They did this in the playtest. They made
I
it
think
sound like it was a
from
concurrent
level,
number with your leveling.
I think from level 1 to 4, or from level 1 it's 1, and then 2 to 4 it's 2, and then 5 to 7 it's 3.
Yeah, no,
and
you're
then
right
8 to
because
10 it's 4.
But
the
even
boxes
then,
are your tier gains,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything below that box are your level gains.
You might have other things
Okay.
that allows you to get proficiency too, because there's 6. things
I
to-
doubt it because that's a pretty
See, there's
None
6
of
things
these-
that allow you to. There's 6 dots to fill in. So
well, yeah, because at level 2 you have 2,
Mhm.
at level 5 you have 3,
And at level 8 you
8
get 4.
you're at proficiency of 4. So I'm assuming then
There might be something
in your
in
subclass
subclasses and stuff that
or
can up your
or your additional feats or your additional traits or
yeah, that's what I'm
whatever.
saying. There might be something where
Yeah.
you get extra
Yeah.
proficiency.
It makes sense. So choose your weapons. At level 1, your proficiency is 1. That means you'll roll 1 damage die if your weapon attacks. Which means you roll your weapon to hit, and then you roll 1 damage die for that weapon. When your proficiency is 2, you roll 2 damage die. Because that damage die determines the threshold effect and whether or not the opponent takes damage from the threshold.
So when the threshold says 7/15, they have to damage me more than 7.
Meets it, beats it, yeah.
So just curious, what is? So I've been very busy.
You need something to put underneath your paper so that it's easier to write on.
No, I'm good.
The table is bumpy.
I'm good. Very, very light. If I need to, I can whip out my.
What was your question?
So when it shows the threshold 7 special, what is the second part?
Do me a favor, put your phone away from the cable.
Where's the music go?
Yeet.
Say it
Away
again.
from the
What was the
bullets.
question?
So, for my armor, it's just armor, chainmail armor, threshold.
Oh, we were just getting to
7.
that. Yeah.
7
So, choose your armor. You use armor to reduce the severity of incoming attacks. At character creation, you can choose 1 set of armor and equipment. You can find armor suggestions at the top of your character guide, but if you'd like to choose your own, you can find all the starting tier 1 armor in the armor tables section in chapter 2.
I'm just going to go with the suggested one.
An
Leather
armor's
armor.
damage thresholds, shown in the base thresholds column, indicate how much damage a character can endure before marking hit points. Add your character's level to both values and record the total for both numbers in the corresponding fields. In the hit points and damage threshold section of Chapter 2, you'll learn how many hit points to mark on your character sheet each time your character takes damage.
That's a little confusing. So it says the threshold is 6/13. What does that mean?
So I have a tier 1 thug who's attacking you with a club. Okay. Your evasion, let's say you're a cat, so your evasion's a 12.
Okay.
The thug has a +1 +1 to hit because he wields a club his whole life and he's good with it.
Okay.
So I roll a d20. DMs don't roll d12s.
Right.
I roll a d20. Let's say I rolled a 19. Okay. The 19 hits you, right? The club does 1d6 damage. So I roll 2, and I get a +1 for damage, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So that does 3 on the threshold. So that's minor damage.
Okay.
So it's a sliding scale.
Mm-hmm.
So because I rolled a 3 with my club for damage, you would look at your threshold.
Okay, so I put 6 and then 13 here.
Correct.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh my God,
and because a 3 is below your 6, it's considered minor. And what does minor say?
1
HP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, they have combat wheelchairs in here.
They just want to be inclusive. Don't judge.
They have combat wheelchairs.
They
Interesting, the
wanna be
artwork.
inclusive.
The artwor's amazing for it too.
They have combat
Is it
wheelchairs.
Mad Max?
Can I make my tigers totally going to be my wheelchair? Just kidding.
It's going to be your mobility.
Oh my God! You
Animal?
could have the target be in a wheelie, so you could have a tiger with a mobile assistance. It could be like a leather chariot wheelie with sky blades coming off the wheels.
Even funnier. She's in a wheelchair, right? The tiger pulls.
Oh, that'd be like chariots. That'd be fucking boss.
So they have
It's your mobility tiger.
Yeah.
they have gambeson armor, leather armor, chainmail armor, and full plate armor. And chainmail armor gives you -1 evasion, and full plate armor gives you -2 to evasion and -2 to agility. And gambeson armor gives you +1 to evasion. Leather armor gives you nothing, but it doesn't take anything away too. So I think I'm going to stick with leather armor.
Okay.
Okay, so my secondary weapon is a round shield and gives me +1 to my armor score. If the leather armor score is 3, does that mean I have a armor of 4?
Correct.
Okay.
Its threshold is 6 to 13.
Then in the armor field at the top left of your character sheet, record your armor score. The score includes the armor's base value, plus any permanent bonuses your character has to their armor score from other abilities. When your character takes damage, you can mark one of the small shield symbols next to your armor score, called an armor slot, then reduce the severity of the damage by 1 threshold. So this is where it gets kind of fun, because let's say your threshold is a 6, right?
Yes.
Let's say I rolled a 7, right? You can mark an armor slot and reduce it to a 6, which becomes minor.
If I recall correctly, because I was listening to them play the game for the new awards in his new
Age of Umbra.
Yeah, it sounds like it doesn't like before, because it would just mark it down by 1. Now it marks it down by a threshold. Like if it was severe damage, it goes down to major damage.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yes, correct. Yeah, because like when we were playtesting, it only marked
it marked
the
points up.
number
Yeah.
down and not yeah.
So
you're
they
right.
simplified that.
I was thinking about the playtest. Oh, I actually like that better because it even makes armor even way more valuable, because you could decide to mark 2 armor, because you may have a subclass ability that says because of who you are, you can mark 1 armor that's the equivalent of 2 because of some ability that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where your card stack comes into play with that as well. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so you
suddenly go from severe to minor, especially if you only have like 1 hit point left.
Yeah. So here's on the side of the armor. It shows shields. What is it? Requests for Yeah, 12. I'm sorry. Anyways,
You can only mark one armor slot per attack, and you have a number of slots equal to your armor score. So according to this, the only time you can ever mark more than one armor, I think, is if it's in your, based on your community, subclass, class.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, core rules say if you're attacked or per attack. So if someone attacks you twice, that means you can reduce 2 armor slots. But it's basically saying that you can only ever reduce an armor slot per equal to the 1 attack that happens. So it's not like you can get attacked once and reduce all 3 of your armor slots at the same time.
That's what you could do before, though.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, low minor was actually 0, so you could actually cancel off all damage. Now
Correct.
you have to take at least 1 damage.
Yes. Depending on the threshold.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So threshold mark. Minor damage is mark 1 HP, major damage is 2, and severe damage is 3.
Right.
There's no 0 now.
Choose other starting items.
Wait. Okay,
What?
so what do I put in my armor?
What do you mean?
For the armor here.
For the armor score?
Score.
Here. So if it's leather armor,
Right.
is it 3?
Yeah.
So here, you put
Because it
the
says add your character's level to both values and record the total for both numbers in the corresponding fields. So right here where it says base thresholds, if it starts out as it's 6/13,
so does it mean it's
does
7
that
over
mean
14?
it's 7/14
Correct.
because of
Okay.
level 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Does
you're
that
proficient.
change-
Once again, you're proficient.
Does that change the
come into
base
play.
score up to 4 as well, or does it just? Because these are the base thresholds. I don't understand.
All right, let's go back and reread it. You use armor to reduce the severity of incoming attacks. At character creation, you can choose one set of armor and equip it. You can find armor suggestions at the top of your character, but if you'd like to choose, go to the armor table. These are available on a separate sheet. When your character equips armor, record its details in the active armor fields
Right.
of your character sheet.
Did that?
Okay. An armor's damage thresholds shown in the base thresholds column indicate how much damage a character can endure before marking hit points. You add your character's level to both values and record the total for both numbers in the corresponding fields. So your base armor remains the same, but your thresholds include your adjustments.
So theoretically, you'll never actually be the base threshold for your armor. Instead, you will always be 1 or more above it.
Correct. Well, because it's
Because
saying
you're not
It
going
goes
to
up
be,
with your level.
because you're never going to be at level 0.
correct. All right, so that's armor. Choose other starting items. Your inventory includes anything else your character is carrying. The top of your character guide lists all their starting inventory items, which include the following: torch, 50 feet of rope, basic supplies, which I love that term, basic supplies, a handful of gold. Record this in the gold field in the left-hand column of your character sheet.
You get 1 handful of gold.
Get 1 handful of gold.
So what if I
What if I want
decide
more
to have
handfuls of
really
gold?
big hands?
Quiet you. Your choice.
What if when I was made, I had like big old scoop?
Big gorilla hands.
He's got
This
chest.
game, I really think they wrote this specifically. I feel like they wrote this to be the antithesis of a Laura Bailey campaign, right? We've got you this time, Laura Bailey. We got
How
you
much
this time.
gold can I help?
Yeah.
And there's actually a whole section on the treasure conversion and all that.
I want to go
handful,
around to all the
bagful,
beggars and put a
chestful.
coin in each one of theirs, but I only have a single handful. But it's enough, right? I can
Mhm.
give it to each one of them.
Yeah.
Basic
As long as you have
supplies.
6 handfuls of gold.
What counts as basic supplies?
Basic supplies: tent, bedroll, tinderbox, rations, etc. Anything I think that kind of just falls in that category.
Okay.
But definitely keeping it simple.
And a handful of gold. And
I think you want basic supplies so that when you're out exploring the world or we're in the story, and you say, "I pull a candle out of my bag." Well, that makes sense. It could easily be part of your basic supplies.
It's easier than holding a
Trophy
sword.
from my first kill.
Well, it's not about that. It's just that if in the narrative, if it makes sense to be part of your basic supplies, then it makes sense.
A question too.
Like 10 inches of string.
What's a stamina potion?
Stamina.
Stress, I would imagine. Yeah, 1d4 stress.
Okay.
So your choice of a minor health potion or a minor stamina potion. Minor health potion clears 1d4 hit points, or a minor stamina potion, which clears 1d4 stress. So their corresponding stamina is equal to stress. That's what they're going with.
Do I want a trophy from my first kill or seemingly broken?
I could have fun with both.
I think I want to seemingly broken.
Okay.
Okay, Jack Sparrow.
I gotta judge it.
Guys, I could have a bag of
You
rocks.
can also talk to your GM about other items you'd like to have at the start of the game. There are no rules limiting the size of your inventory. So items that don't provide a mechanical benefit but make sense for your character to have are normally okay. Now, do I want you carrying 25,000 feet of rope? No, because it wouldn't make sense for your character to have. However,
I would like a bag of holding.
no.
I just had a character idea.
I'd
I would
like to
like
be
a
a
dog- I would
detached
like a
shadow
dog
that can
devourer.
be used.
No.
I'd like to be a detached shadow that can be used as a bag.
I would like a bag of kittens.
Okay.
Yeah, but they
deep
can
fried.
only explode. Can do nothing else. And they do 1d3 damage.
Okay. Bag of exploding kittens.
Yep. You can have that. I think that'd be genius.
It says a strange
A
pendant.
simian ranger throwing kittens at the enemy is perfect.
How many kittens are in it?
Doesn't matter.
Probably 1d3.
It's a magic bag.
1d20 per day.
I was gonna say, like,
You
hey,
have to roll.
No, I would just say you could use it once per short rest.
What did you say they damage they do?
1d3.
1d3. So let's roll a d6 and divide it by 2.
No, roll a d4. A 4 is a 3.
So one of the items that says
I actually have a d3.
Well, then roll a fucking d3.
I will.
Smarty pants.
I have a
I will.
D3, just not on me. I can grab it.
Mine is
Here.
in my box.
Okay, you have them. That's fine.
It's right here.
Oh, that box. Just check it.
So one of the items that says that I could choose between is a strange pendant I found on the dirt, and that created a boom in my brain. So I want my character to have taken over the body of a small child that died in the forest.
Ooh.
And
that was the boom?
okay, and that child had a pendant with it. When I woke up as a fun girl with not the memories of a child, but as a new living creature, I found this pendant and I just carried it around with me.
Love it.
And I've been living for, I don't know, a couple of decades now. And I just held on to this as kind of like a, I don't know.
Perfect.
Yes.
So you guys already moved on to your backgrounds then?
No, I saw the item, and that's what it's gotta be.
Next, explore your character's background by answering the background questions in your character guide. Several prompts are provided to jumpstart inspiration, but you or the GM can modify or replace these questions with the character that you're looking to play. The prompts are a jumping off point. You don't know where to start, but they should never inhibit your creativity.
Are they the same for everybody?
I don't know.
no. My first one is, which god did you devote yourself to?
No, mine.
What incredible feat did they perform for you?
Mine is nothing about that.
So, and I'm trying to remember what the gods were, and my brain is.
The only
Make
reason
them
I'm
up.
not being a bard
Wait,
this
hold
time
on.
is because
There
I
is-
want people holding my hand.
There
Who are the
is a
deities?
thingy in here for
Deity?
example. Oh no, those are example characters. Domains. No. Domain. Those are the domain cards.
Domains.
Those are our spells.
Okay, I figured out my guy's name.
What's his name?
Friar Tuck. Looks spelled like fries. The electronics store. Friar's Tuck.
Friar Tuck.
Friar.
F-R-I-E-R. Tuck? Okay.
Yeah.
What is he tucking? What is he tucking? Anyways.
Nothing to tuck.
Turn your head.
And cough.
Ew.
He started it.
Yes, I did.
Friar Tuck.
Okay.
Starting hit points.
Fry or Tuck. You have an idea for a name yet there, Carolyn?
Oh, I'm reusing the other one because we didn't play it all.
Which was
Miyataki?
Taki.
Shiitake?
Miyataki?
My Taki. Maitake.
Wait, hold on a second.
Maitake. Taki.
I think there should be a hyphen between I and T.
Possibly, but she goes by Mai. M-A-I.
Okay, yep. We got that.
And her last name is Mycelium. Maitake Mycelium.
Celeste, have you thought of a name yet?
Yeah, I was going to use the same one as the last one. It was
We only got to play a couple.
I know.
Onyx
It's like, that was such a great name.
Onyx?
I'm going to keep it.
That's right. That'll help me remember that onyx is an actual word that's not oinks. I kept pronouncing that fucking word oinks. My brain would not unwind. It just wouldn't see it the proper way. It was so funny.
I'm so going to laugh.
And all the other
Tell me-
the tables, it's like the white wine vinegar. You know, a German can never say white wine vinegar.
Mhm.
White vinegar. White vinegar. Onyx, Maitake, Friar Tuck. All right. So with that, we move on to create your experiences. In Daggerheart, your character's experiences are one of the core ways you express their backstory and expertise through mechanics. An experience is a word or phrase used to encapsulate a specific set of skills your character has acquired over the course of their exciting life. Your character starts with 2 experiences at character creation, each with a modifier of +2. And they'll earn more throughout your adventures, obviously, as you
Well, that's
level up.
different. Or it's like 3 and was 2 and 1, I think.
Yeah. Before creating experiences, you'll want to have a solid idea of who your character is.
So should we do the background questions first then?
Who your character is. The background questions are especially helpful for this. When you're ready, work with the GM to create 2 experiences that have shaped your character.
Okay, so background question. A terrible creature hurt your community and you vowed to hunt them down. What are they and what unique trail or sign do they leave behind?
I love the vow to hunt them down.
Uh-huh.
I love that one because that really lets me be super creative with that creature in the world.
Yeah.
So I love that one.
So I have to find a
Jabberwocky.
terrible creature that hurt my community of monkeys.
I mean, does the creature have to be
Jabberwocky.
predefined, or can the creature be mysterious?
Well, it says a terrible creature. It does say what are they and what unique trail or sign do they leave behind.
Okay. I feel like
What would prey on monkeys?
it's going to be a mutated tiger.
A mutated tiger.
I would
Okay,
say like
but
a
I
snake.
have a tiger companion.
Like a-
Oh, that's right. You have a tiger companion.
I was
That's
going to say
right.
a snake. Like a large
like
anaconda.
mutated tiger, and then what they left behind was a dire tiger.
So
that
a super agile simia is attacked by the slowest creature next to a tortoise.
Snake?
Snakes are actually really fast when
They're slow.
They're slow only when you don't realize, like,
I had one go between my legs the other day, so I know how slow they are. They're slow. Snakes are boring. What's another one?
I have 15-foot Hermes python very fast.
I feel like a mutated raptor, an eagle or a hawk or something.
Or pterodactyl.
Or an elephant.
Ooh, that would introduce dinosaurs. Yeah. Pterodactyl. Perfect.
What unique trail or sign do they leave behind?
Their spore. Pterodactyl spore.
Poop.
Spore.
I'm looking for poop. My clues are shitty.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Try the roast beef. I'll be here for the rest of my life.
I'm spelled terrible. I know it starts with a P.
Yes.
Okay. I have
Background.
these are the 3 questions I can choose. Should I choose just one of them, or should I answer all of them?
What does it say?
Answer
It
any
says-
of the following.
Oh, Annie, okay. So the first one is, why was your community you grew up in so reliant on nature and its creatures? The next one is, who was the first wild animal you bonded with, and why did that bond end? And then that last one is, who has been trying to hunt you down, and what do they want from you?
Ooh, see, I like that last one because you can introduce a nemesis.
Okay,
Maybe the father of the kid.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. The father of the kid is
Because you still have her features.
because you still have her and her pendant. You have the pendant. Perfect.
And it's like
Perfect
a
background.
seeking item.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Perfect background. Perfect. What about yours, Kyle?
Which god did I devote myself to? What incredible feat did they perform for you in a moment of desperation? That's one whole question. How did your appearance change after taking your oath? In what strange or unique way do you communicate with your god? That one made my brain go, oh, this is a great idea. Dial up.
Oh no! Your communication is modem? Dial-up modem?
The dial-up noise. I'm a robot.
I mean, that's way better than.
Well, you're
the
Clank.
way
No,
that-
that's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
oh my god, I could have a lot of fun with that.
right?
Yeah, definitely go with that one.
That's what it is. That's how I communicate with my god.
I could have
I need to look at the
I could
list of
definitely
gods
have a lot of
stuff.
fun with that one. Yeah.
The list of gods.
Yeah, the list of the deities.
Because it fits into what I have kind of been working on. Because I want to.
You gotta have that on your phone.
I do.
That's how Clank prayers. Oh my god, that's bringing severe flashbacks. Okay.
Kyle's talking to his god. I mean, whatever his house.
What? And his eyes can go green to orange to red.
Oh
No,
man,
They
he just
just
blue
start
screened.
No. The
got the
eyes just
spinning-
start swirling.
He's got the
and
spinning worm of death. He's got the spinning worm of death.
instead of just them both going the same way, they just go.
What did you say your
Go
name
out.
was? Your character.
No, they have to look into each other because then they'll stop and then go.
Okay,
How did you spell Friar for your character's name?
Oh no, he's got it up on the thing.
You said it was
F-R-Y.
F-R-Y-A-R?
F-R-Y-A-R.
So Friar Tuck. T-U-C-K.
Yep.
And you're a Clank.
So his name is going to end up being Tire Fuck.
Your character's name is Onyx, right?
Yes.
Onyx, does that have a last name?
Darkling?
Duck.
Darkling, not Darkwing.
Duck.
Darkling Duck.
Duck.
I'm a monkey, not a duck.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide what kind of monkey I want to be. Like
Ringtail Hunter.
You like a spider
No, because I was thinking spider monkey.
Okay.
I was seriously thinking about making like a monk or something. Be like, oh yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
a
I
monk
can't
or a warrior.
decide.
Be like, oh, I'm coming
I
at you
wanna
like a
do-
spider monkey.
I can't decide if I want to do a capuchin monkey or a spider monkey.
And
Kombucha monkey?
you chose
Why not just a gorilla?
I don't want to be a gorilla. They're ugly.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, you know what?
Throw the gauntlet.
Right. You know who's gonna feel real bad about that? Remember the movie Mighty Joe Young?
Yep.
Such a great movie.
I
yeah.
don't want to be a gorilla.
What was your class you chose again? So I can write it down here for my own
She is
memory's sake,
a-
so I don't have to keep asking.
She's a ranger.
Ranger.
I think of
I just can't decide capuchin or spider monkey.
well, if you
When
say
I did it
Capuchin,
before.
But we have all of our
I did
backgrounds,
spider
right?
monkey.
let's see.
Now we're moving on to experiences.
Well, we don't have all our backgrounds. So I haven't answered all my questions.
You don't have to answer them all.
Just one.
I'm gonna do one.
You can do 1, 2, or 3. I would recommend 1, and then add more if you want to be inspired by the world.
And we can
You
give you
have
connections after.
Connections?
Or,
So
No, you
Since
do
we're in the
connections
same
after
place-
experiences.
Uh, What friendly competition do we have? Why do you act differently when we're alone than when others are around? What threat have you asked me to watch for, and why are you worried about it?
What are you reading?
Connections.
No, I thought we were doing experiences.
Yeah, we're doing experiences.
Where is experience?
How high? Oh, it's on the front page.
Oh.
You fill them in. You get 2 of them, right? Plus 2.
You get 2 of them with a +2. And the reason why they want you to do your background first, because your experiences would be tied into your background. So, your Val, right?
Pterodactyls.
Yeah.
I vowed to hunt down pterodactyls. They just happen to be tasty too.
Oh, I love it. So whenever you're in combat with pterodactyls, you get a +2.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, you could also make foibles with your experiences too.
Like Sam had made cowardice.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I kind of want to do something similar, but not quite. I want to spare. Sorry.
No. I was just going to say, I'm going to do 2 of the questions. So the strange way I communicate is the dial-up sound. And how did my appearance change after taking my oath? My coloration changed to like instead of like the normal metals,
Right.
I now have like I'm going to go Google Chrome. That's the red.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah.
like, just,
Race car chrome.
yeah. Just,
Okay. Yeah. No, I love it. So here's some interesting phrases that they include in experience examples. Catch me if you can. Fake it till you make it. First time's the charm. Hold the line. Won't let you down. I'll catch you. Got your back. Knowledge is power. Nature's friend. Never again. No one left behind. Pick on someone your own size. The show must go on. This is not a negotiation. A wolf in sheep's clothing. So the experience should be something that triggers your niche to your background.
So,
Not overly broad so it can be taken advantage of, but it's designed to be specific in purpose.
Okay. So again, I got to look at So I'm going to go with a knowledge god then.
Okay.
Go with a knowledge god because I can get
God
into
of tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my experience is that when I pray to him, I am momentarily, I can learn something really quick.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Recall, analyze, and comprehend. I got a negative one.
Yeah. Makes sense. So now you've got a +2 because of your experience.
Yep.
I want to use childish innocence. Now, because she looks childish in spite of how old she is, people tend to treat her like a child. They might give her a candy. They might, ignore the fact that she is in places she probably shouldn't be, because small and just out of the way, know. So it's just like, I want to use it as a oh no, don't hurt me. I'm just a child.
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Like the whole vampire that was turned as a kid, but they're 100,000 years old.
Yeah. No, I like that. So I'll read using experiences. When one of your character's experiences fits the situation at hand, you can use that experience to showcase their expertise. Before you make an action or reaction roll, you can spend a hope to add the experience's modifier to the roll's result. Sometimes more than one of your character's experience is a good fit for the situation. For example, if your character is trying to sneak past the guard in the dark, your I live in the shadows and stealthy experiences would both apply. If it fits the story, you can add more than one experience modifier to a roll, spending a hope for each.
Very cool.
So if you have 2 experiences that suddenly matter with that moment of what you're doing, and you have 2 hope, you could spend 2 hope and use both experiences and add +4 to your die roll.
I know what I'm going to call my second experience. Vet tech.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, because I went to her village right after the
The
attack.
The attack. Oh my God! Would you stop? I'm sure that's copyrighted.
No. I downloaded it.
Hasn't been 50 years.
I have it as a ringtone.
It's not in the domain, public domain.
Okay.
So if we're doing, it has to have a phrase. What would my combat with pterodactyls phrase be?
Oh my God! Not again.
Or not again.
Jurassic.
Here come the flying monkeys.
Oh shit!
Here come the flying
Here they
monkeys.
come.
But they're pterodactyls, but they're not monkeys. I know, but you're not flying.
She's really
you're riding a
into
tiger.
flying.
She's not a flying monkey. I didn't fix her. Sarah.
I know. So what's this about flying
She
monkeys?
kind of wants it now.
I kind of want it now.
Oh my
But she
God.
also wants a tiger.
She just wants to be like in Wicked.
No, I just want to see the second.
Yeah, we have to wait. We have to wait.
I know, till November.
Yep.
I'm trying to wish my life away. I'm old enough already. By November, I'll be another year older.
Oh, so so sad.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
so will Jason.
54 next month. You
What do you
guys
want
are
for your
fake.
Don't look a day over 30.
July 10th.
What do you want for your birthday?
Now you're a liar and you're late.
Damn right.
July 10th.
I asked him the same thing. He told me something dirty.
Well, I'm not going to give him anything dirty. I'm not his spouse. What do you want that's not dirty?
Oh,
I want the same thing clean. I don't know.
Just
what time could I come over to drop off some of the bamboo?
Oh, whenever you want. You want to come over tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. I'm usually up at 6:37 out in the gardens
Okay.
Because he's insane.
I mean,
Because-
I'm waking up at
because
7
it's
o'clock.
summertime. The best time to be outside is
It's
from
in the morning.
7 to noon. Is
Yeah.
the best time to be outside. It's gorgeous. It's nice. And then as soon as noon o'clock hits,
Yep.
it's time to go in.
Yep.
So yeah, I got to finish shading all the tomato plants, and I've got a couple basil plants I can give you too. A couple
Did
Thai basil.
those shade cloths work?
Oh yeah. The little weight things didn't work, so I bought river rock instead and tied them on the corners. It worked perfect. We had a dust devil come just screaming through the back 5 acres.
Yeah.
And it was so funny too because they've got the canopy up over the mechanics station where they're doing all the work.
Mhm.
And it lifted the whole thing up in the air, turned it around up in the air, and it set right back down on all 4. Not in the exact same space, but set it right back down on all 4 legs. It was
close enough that it was
hysterical. It was hysterical because I'm over there in the north garden. I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, I was like right on. I'm like, what the?
What?
And then it started coming right at me, and I just got down like that, and it went right through.
Oh
It was crazy.
Oh my god.
We had one that came through, like from bottom of June, like from Juniper Flats right up, and hit the hill behind us. I was like, "The hell was that?"
I
But
know.
it was in the attic doing
Crazy.
Like, what? I'm like, oh, we just had a fucking dust devil come through.
So does using the experiences make sense to,
Yeah.
and why it's important that it
I
links
think
to
I
your
do want to take
background?
that nature's friend too, because I feel like
Go
if the
for it.
druid, I'm
Yeah.
gonna need
Well, and that's
We get 2.
so your character has the opportunity to gain new experiences as they gain levels. However, if you discover that your character has outgrown a previous experience or it doesn't feel right anymore, you're not stuck with the ones that you've already chosen. For example, you might find that your character's stealthy experiences no longer matches their head-on way they've learned to solve problems, or perhaps your group likes to try and solve things diplomatically. So it's describing that the world's changing you. So maybe your old experiences change along with you, and it's like, I don't do things that way anymore. So you can change them as you
so it's not
level
so
up.
stuck.
Yeah.
And like,
Because what if she finally kills a pterodactyl?
Yeah.
Her vow experience just doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, and I'm
Ooh.
imagining that there's something that, like, something specific on this pterodactyl that attacked my family that, like, I can tell which pterodactyl it is. Or
Yeah.
What if you
Yeah.
you think
Specific
everyone
breed
calls it
or
a
something.
pterodactyl, but it's the really big.
Or it's got like a bite
that
mark,
falls
but
out of
it's like it's
what is
missing a tooth or something.
it's got that giant like kind of horn thing. I can't think of the proper name of the dinosaur.
Buzzoltol or whatever.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know if I'm using those. I'm going to try to actually stick with the Coral Rule Tier 1 things that they provide me.
Yeah.
Because I got to be honest with you, the stat blocks for their monsters and
Do
stuff,
they have a pterodactyl?
I'll find one. And if they don't, then I can create one.
It's just
Stat-
like a giant
it's
eagle.
so well. No, it's just that it's like they changed a lot of things, and one thing that they changed for the better for me is like if I use a monster from their stuff, I don't have to worry about evasion. I'm a difficulty number. So the difficulty number for a particular monster might be a 12, which means you guys have to roll a 12 or higher to hit me. I don't have to worry about armor. I don't have to worry about any of that shit. Just a nice, simple, difficulty, some bonuses, my threshold, my hit points, and then special abilities that I get.
I can't decide if I want I've got your back or no one left behind.
I really feel like you'd be no one left behind because of your experience that you had with the your
Murder
community getting murder hoboed by a pterodactyl. And that pterodactyl could eventually turn out to be a druid fungal.
Right.
I don't have that ability yet.
But maybe a mentor you met along the way did. So maybe you secretly know where a pterodactyl is, but you don't know that that's what she's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the druid that did it was your mom.
But
Yay, my favorite part.
I don't think
Step 8.
I don't think mushrooms have moms.
Well, everyone comes from something.
I resist a child. Anyways.
Choose your domain cards.
Where do we put our domain cards in?
Domains are the core building blocks of Daggerheart's classes. The following domains are included in this book. Arcana, Blade, Bone, Codex, Grace, Midnight, Stage, Splendor, and Valor. And I love how this gets... Now I'm understanding why this gets to the very... Like, they wait till the end to do this. Because everything that came before is going to shape this choice. Your class, your subclass, your community, your ancestry, like all of that, you can easily take into consideration as you look at what domain you want to be a part of. And this is important because domains give you all these extra abilities and give you these things you can do throughout the game. For example, somebody read a domain card for me.
Is that what these are, or is that what these are?
That's what these are.
Okay.
You all right there?
It's like a level 1. I don't know. What's the one that looks like a butterfly?
I actually have the wheel in here. Hold on, let me find the wheel.
I'm going to change
That is Grace.
Grace. Okay. Deft, its ability, Deft Deceiver. Spend a hope to gain advantage on a roll to deceive or trick someone into believing a lie you tell them.
See, what I love about that, it doesn't have to be in combat, although you may have a card in there in domains that could represent in combat. And it doesn't say once per short rest or once per long rest. Because it costs a hope, it's based on whether or not you have hope to spend.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, resource management, which I absolutely think is very creative.
Okay, so what do... I know the one that you have right there, I can also use that one. I have Bone and...
I think Splendor and Valor. That's the two I got.
I have this, I don't know what it is. It's like a little,
Each class in Daggerheart is formed.
That's this one.
So each class in Daggerheart is formed by combining two of these domains. For example, the warrior class comprises Blade and Bone. The druid comprises Arcana and Sage. The rogue is Midnight and Grace. This combination is noted at the top of the character sheet for each class. And the colors and symbols are found on the subclass foundation card. To start, look at all the level 1 cards from your class's 2 domains and choose 2 cards, returning the rest to their respective decks. You can take 1 from each domain or 2 from a single domain, whichever you prefer. These cards grant you special spells and abilities. You'll choose another card each time you level up. Not tier up, but level up.
Oh boy, I just read the class feature.
Do you need to go in the bathroom and like. I'm gonna mute your microphone.
So, prayer dice. At the beginning of each session, roll a number of d4s equal to your subclass's spellcast trait and place them on the sheet in the space provided.
Oh, I
For your
remember
prayer
that.
dice,
Yeah.
You can spend any number of prayer dice to aid yourself or an ally within far range.
So
You
and I
can use a
have the
spent
same-
dice value to reduce incoming
We
damage,
can both use
add
that
to
one.
a roll
But not yet. 'Cause it's a little
result
late, right?
after the roll is made, or
Well,
gain hope equal to the result.
We can only use the level
That's
1
pretty
ones
cool.
right now, right?
Yep.
But I
Only the
mean-
level 1 cards.
we can use the same type. These are
Where-
yours.
Valor, Splendor.
I don't know. It's the one that looks like a shield and the one that looks like a sun.
Well, I'll tell you.
Here. They're not in card holders yet.
Yes. That's Valor and Splendor.
Yes.
Arcana looks like a magic burst. Blade looks like an axe blade.
Which one looks like a book on fire? Because I like that one.
That is Codex.
Codex looks cool.
Bone is 2 bone blades crossing a white background.
Yes, I have that one.
Grace is the butterfly. Midnight is the moon. Sage is the triad. Splendor the sun. Valor the shield. So
Which is the one that looks like the moon with a over a
that is
crown?
midnight.
Midnight. I like that one too. But I'd have to be a sorcerer for that one, or a rogue. Oh, I could have picked a rogue.
I'm surprised you didn't.
You still can.
No. I'm-
Road monkey.
A rogue monkey.
Rogue monkey. We have a rogue monkey.
It's not like it would really change much of anything in your background.
Except she wouldn't have a tiger.
Except I wouldn't have a tiger.
Why wouldn't you have? Oh, because Beastborn.
Be small.
So either, I mean, it's all up to you whether or not you want that tiger.
I want the tiger.
Then you are what you are.
Yes.
You are what you are.
So you have the level ones of.
I just took a picture of both of them so I could read them on my phone. I didn't have to share.
They're in the
We only
Discord.
need one. We only need level ones, right?
Correct.
Tomorrow, the rest of the sleeves should come,
Okay.
and I'll put these in sleeves,
Cool.
and then make them neater here. So, because I know that bothers you as much as it bothers me, or more. Okay, so why do I have 3 in one but only 2 in the other?
Each class shares its domains with at least one other class. For example, so shared domains. Each class shares its domains with at least one other class. For example, Blade is shared by the Guardian and the Warrior. Sage is shared by the Druid and the Ranger. Grace is shared by the Bard and the Rogue. If a fellow player's class has the same domain as yours, we encourage you to coordinate with them and choose different cards from that domain deck. This way each player feels distinct and shines when they bring their unique abilities to the story. However, if the GM and players agree, feel free to make an exception. Sharing cards is common when more than one player chooses the same class, or when 3 or more players share the same domain. As always, it comes down to the open communication between the players and the GM. If you need extra copies of cards, you can download and print them at home. And they're in my core PDF file. Everybody ready for step 9?
No,
How many other cards do we get?
1, 2.
2 at the moment.
2? Okay.
I think before there was only 2 that you could have.
That's because they didn't flush out all the
Yeah.
demands. They didn't have them all done.
And
Which was
I am a
Better
I'm
because
the
I was cutting out so
medic.
many things.
So many cards.
This is just funny. Forceful push and mending touch.
I think I may have to take this one based on my background. When you're tracking a specific creature or group of creatures based on signs of their passage, you can spend any number of hope and ask the GM that many questions from the following list. What direction did they go? How long ago did they pass through? What were they doing in this location? How many of them were here? When you encounter creatures you've tracked in this way, gain a +1 to your evasion against them.
Love it.
I think I have to take this one based on my background.
Love it. All right, so we're going to move on to step 9 because you can Take your time with domains. Create your connections. You've almost finished creating your character. Now it's time to forge their connections. These represent the relationships and personal history between your character and their fellow party members. Once your group is comfortable with their finished or almost finished PCs, summarize your characters for each other. At the minimum, share their name, pronouns, character description, experiences, and the answers to the background questions, which we've been doing together anyway, so we pretty much know all that. Then work together to decide how your characters are connected and how they feel about each other. The connection section of your character guide provides inspiration. We recommend you pick at least one question to ask another player for their character to answer, but you're welcome to create new questions. You can always turn down a question or relationship suggested by another player if it's not good fit for or not a relationship you're interested in exploring. While it's great to create connections with every character, it's perfectly okay if you're not sure about some of them yet, and you can always discover your relationships through play. These connections are a starting point to build on during the game. After the party connections are complete, you're ready to play. The rest of the chapter contains resources to use when you're building your characters, such as information on domains, classes, ancestries, and communities. Chapter 2 then presents the rules you'll use to play Daggerheart. And that's what I've been reading.
What friendly competition do we have?
Ooh, him or me?
I'm going to say us because we're starting on as Wildborn. I'm going to say who. You told me to protect one member of our party above all others. I'm going to change this question a bit. Your father told me to protect you right before he died from the wounds from the
Pterodactyl attack. Okay.
And we're not sure how old I am, but I've been around. I've known your father for
Before I was born.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we could do, why do you act differently, or maybe why do I act differently when we're alone than when around others? Because I've known you all my life?
No, most of it.
Well, if he knew my father before I was born, then I've known him all my life. Are your pronouns he, him?
it.
So
Yours is it too?
No.
Right here.
No. I really
It should be any
I was
fine.
going to put it, but I was like, no. I just try as he.
Okay.
I'm an it. But I look like a little girl.
I don't know. You're a fungus. You might be a they, them.
Yeah, it could be a they them if you want to.
You could. I mean, who's to say you are one entity?
Yeah, I would probably acknowledge
It could be unity.
I'd probably see myself as an it, but it's
All right.
into the
So if
she.
you go around puking in everybody's mouth, you can take them over.
Is that a thing?
Be a
I
hive
can
No.
I mean, that's kind of
All right.
what a fungrel is.
Oh, yeah, you said that right after I put food in my mouth.
So you didn't put puke in your mouth, so you're okay.
No, but I put Jack in the box.
I think she
Almost
probably
puke.
responds to she.
I mean, for
It's
some
delicious.
people,
That's fine.
Some people, yeah.
it's
These
pre-puke.
tacos?
For some people, it's pre-puke. You know, that's what food is.
So some of the things that are unique to this game, we should talk about.
Okie dokie.
What's your character's name?
Friar Tuck.
Friar Tuck. Right.
You just call me Tuck.
Tuck.
Tuck and roll. So if you're familiar with D&D's DC system, there's really nothing new about that. One of the things though the system allows me to do, since I don't believe your characters have any passive abilities, correct? They're baselined,
I don't know.
unless it's specific in a card that you've taken.
I have wild touch, which I can perform harmless.
Well, so
effects.
I'm referring to like passive perception, passive
So-
insight, passive investigation. None of those exist. And the
Yeah.
reason why is because the rules assume that simple tasks are just known, or
Yeah.
things that are obvious become obvious. So in the narrative, it's a lot easier for me to do story creation and storytelling because I don't have to constantly ask you like, "Oh, what's your passive perception?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can
Yeah,
say something that you see simply because it makes sense that you would see it.
Yeah.
However, if there's a hidden trap door, obviously that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
And I would probably have you make a, what did we decide on that one when we were going through it?
So there is a perceive, which is instinct.
Yes. So what are the 6 abilities again?
Agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, and knowledge.
So I'd probably have you make an instinct check.
Which
And
is
that's
perceive,
which
sense,
for-
and navigate.
Yeah.
For us, as we're both Wildborn, we both have naturally light movements. Naturally
Yes,
silent
we have
movements. So
advantage on
Stealth rolls.
silent rolls.
Move silent rolls. They don't call it stealth, huh? Move silent?
Move without
they just
being
call
heard.
it move without being heard.
Yeah.
Advantage to rolls to move without being heard. They don't even call it move silent.
So that would be what, agility?
Either that or finesse, which is control, hide, and tinker.
Yeah, that'd be finesse.
You see, my
Agility
underborn.
is sprint, leap, and maneuver. So I don't know if it would be maneuver.
That would be like acrobatics then.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get my
I would
DM,
think it would be finesse.
my D&D brain
Yeah.
reorganized.
So with my underborn, if I'm in low light or heavy shadow, I had advantage on hide, investigate.
I downloaded
Investigator
their cheat sheet, so I have access to the cheat sheet.
Can we have copies of the cheat sheet? Can you put it in the Discord?
I thought I did put it in Discord
Let me check.
because I thought it was one part of
Additional
the.
sheet.
Yeah, because they do have a hide check, which is under finesse.
Yeah. Is there a horse in here? Monday game. Monday nights. Daggerheart content. Core rulebook, additional sheets and guides. So the first one is sheets and guides.
Well, sheet.
And additional sheets is the one you may need.
Oh, hey.
Yep, there you go. That's got the GM guide in it. It's got the character creation guide. It's got the play guide, the downtime guide. It's got the character sheet sidecar. It's got the equipment. So it has everything you need.
And
Okay.
subclass.
I'll have to print those out when I get home. My internet was down yesterday, so when I was actually going to do this, it's like I couldn't
This
do
is
it.
a great. This is perfect.
Okay, I can print multi-class. We don't need multi-class sheets, right?
No, we're not going to start with those. We'll.
Okay, so I need to print page 1 through 7. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pages 1 through 7. 1 through 7. That's not helpful. And then 3 copies? You guys each want a copy?
Throw one out for me too, would you?
Yes.
So there's a couple different things. So transitioning from any game you're playing that has a DC system makes it easy. The unique thing, obviously, is that I roll a d20. You guys roll 2 different colored d12s. You designate which one represents hope and which one represents fear. Every time you're rolling for a DC
I'm gonna roll
check.
a purple and a purple. I'm just kidding. Go on.
So that's how you gain your economy.
Poison mushroom and a.
Yep.
Well,
So,
lately, I've been using this ones that I got for my birthday.
I earned fear from your
Yes,
fear
those
rolls.
ones.
You earned hope from your hope rolls. You can max out at 6. I don't remember if I max out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could use the other.
Does the
stone
GM
ones.
max out on fear?
I don't think so.
I think I just keep collecting it, right?
And then you
The
spend
GM
it.
should.
You spend it in combat, right?
Well, I spend it for anything.
We can look. I don't want you to not max out on fear. Then you kill us.
So yeah, a GM, you can spend a fear to interrupt the players to make a move, make an additional GM move, spotlight an additional adversary during a battle, use an adversary's fear feature, use an environment's fear feature, add an adversary's experience to roll. Hope, help an ally, utilize an experience, initiate a tag team roll, activate a hope feature. Yeah, it doesn't say I have.
But we do.
You do.
Max out. We
Yeah,
have.
you max out at 6.
Yeah.
So initiative. Initiative in the system's very different. Along with calculation of distances. It simplifies a lot of things. Initiative, there's no roll, there's no number, there's no determination. If you guys choose to do something and you go, we're in combat. And as long as you're rolling with hope, you continue to keep going. And it doesn't matter who goes. You just choose to see, you guys choose who's going. So the circumstance of the dynamics of the battlefield will help you more that way. Until you roll with fear. As soon as you roll with fear, I take over.
Right.
As soon as I roll with hope, you take over. But at any time during your roll, I can spend fear, a fear token, to take over. I can then spend a fear token to activate an adversary.
Even during our turns.
No, I have to, no matter what has to happen during, I spend a fear to take over. And then I spend a fear to activate.
You're like, I'm done with this, I'm spending a fear.
Yeah, I put down a fear and go, okay, this guy's running right into close with you. And he's going to, so I'll spend a fear, take over. I will then spend another fear to activate the ogre. I will then spend 2 fear to activate his patient charge. And then, because he's close to you, he gets a +4 on his attack. See how that works?
Yeah, and you get all you.
But I just spent 4 fear.
Right.
This is why I have unlimited fear, because I'll spend it so fast.
Right.
I'll never collect it enough of it to
Right.
exceed.
And it carries over from the previous sessions.
Oh yeah. You're hoping
That's
fear
why you mark
go with
it.
you. Yeah, you
Yeah,
mark
You
them.
mark it at the end of this session.
Yep, you mark them.
And you can use these things during the session.
But I think as we play, since we're used to my narrative play, so it makes sense. So we were talking about campaign foundation, and we were thinking post-apocalyptic. So the world is the world in a post-apocalyptic setting.
So I'm thinking like.
Oh, he usually does
Mad
like
Max.
cataclysmic. No, not
No.
Or like further on after that, where it's like, oh hey.
Well, I don't want to give too much away because I was really inspired by something I used to play when I was younger in my TTRPG days, and I think it fits perfect with this genre style of play, and it also fits with a one of my favorite book series too.
So we're gonna wake up laying out on a concrete slab just right after the cataclysm happens,
No,
with no memory of how we got there. I'm just kidding.
Butt naked.
that's actually way too much work.
I've done campaigns like that.
That's way too much work because then you're having to track every possibility of what you might learn or recover.
Yeah.
Lily, the little girl that I possessed her dead body, went into the forest to find food because
Now, did
her
you
family couldn't
kill
quite
her
feed her.
when you
No,
took her over, or did she die and then you took her over?
Yes.
I don't think Maitake would really know for sure because she didn't become conscious until she had already possessed the body. Before that, she was a mindless.
So you killed her.
She was probably a dead body that I just possessed.
I
I think she ate a mushroom and.
No, I think as a
And-
fungrel,
You possess dead bodies.
you found a dead body that needed to be broken down and put back into the earth.
I
And
think
it just
you
so
were
happened for some
already-
reason you
I
possessed
think you
her
were
instead.
already in her and you infected her because she ate a mushroom that had your spores in it, and then when she died, it like acted.
By the way, this is bad meta. Really bad meta.
None of it's not going to happen.
You're telling her how to play her character.
You're telling her how you want. No. You're telling her how you want her to play,
play
her
that
character.
Actually, I don't want to tell my story.
Got it.
I don't
You just want to hear yourself talk so you can listen to it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear him talk all the time. I want to tell stories too.
It's like a
Then start DMing. Let him play for a chance.
That's too much work. You know?
Story of my life.
it's like the Grimm's fairy tales.
Back to 9 games a week.
The kids always go into the forest to seek food because their family can't feed them.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I think that's what happened to the little girl.
So you're actually a hack.
No,
So we're gonna go to
died.
TGCon. Did I tell you?
The kid
We're gonna
died,
go
and I
TGCon.
have the body.
Labor Day
Now. It's
weekend.
my body.
Oh, nice.
It
That's
is
In
fair.
LA.
That's fair.
It's a D&D convention.
Ooh, I want
Tabletop
to
role-playing
test
game
something
convention, not just
quick
D&D.
and see
Okay.
if the alignment worked.
I don't remember, but it's on the website.
Send me the link.
Okay.
It's you said Labor Day?
Mhm.
So September?
Well, it's August 30th, 31st, and then September 1st.
No, that is text 4. When
Because
is that?
Friday,
That is
Saturday,
text
Sunday.
3.
And the Sunday is the September 1st. Or maybe it's Monday.
That's right. That'll be like right after we get back from our anniversary trip to Vegas.
Fun.
Yeah. And right before my birthday.
And I'm really hoping that, maybe we can find more people for him for some games.
I mean, I really only have 2 empty tables left, so.
So
And I think my
Then,
Monday table would like a 5th.
by
But
the end of that, you'll have, no empty
hopefully,
tables.
yeah.
That's my hope. My hope. We go, we give cards.
I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying only having 1 table on Saturday right now. I get it.
Yeah.
I have 1 on Friday
I
and 1
was
on
thinking
Saturday,
Tuesday.
so
I was thinking the Tuesday night slot, but, okay.
that would be back-to-back tables again. The only hard part about that is that that's 2 back-to-back nights. It's 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday.
2 on Monday.
It'd be 2 on Monday, so it's 2, 2, and 2. Then I'm off Thursday, 1 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Technically, I could open 3 tables if I wanted to. But the only problem is my Friday night table is 6 to 9, so it's hard to split the difference on that one. So I think I'm good with Thursday and Friday being my weekend, because then I got Thursday off and most of Friday off. You know what I mean? So a second table on Saturday would get, and then that's 2, 2. Second table on Tuesday is 2, so it'd be 2 through Saturday through Wednesday would be 2 every day. Yeah, which would be fine. That's a normal work day. So, because I do enjoy running more games, I do want to run more games, and I'm going to be offering up 2 Daggerheart tables, I think.
Yeah.
So the more I learn, the better off I am.
So we have until August for you to, get.
Oh no, I'm not worried about learning this game. I mean, it's just
You said Daggerheart.
No, I know. I just transitioning my brain between 2 systems can be challenging, like any kind of bit of exercise. But so the world. This is my part that I get to shine. No, you do not. It's being recorded. I can sum it up in notes if you like, and there's nothing specific in it that you need to make notes. Just establishing the world for you, and to give you some thought about your other experiences and things that you might want to.
Do we have to write this?
Do we have to take notes, GM?
Eventually, yes.
Well, yeah, I know. Next Monday we'll have to take notes, but I'm like, do I have to write this down right now? Go on.
In the sea of stars, there are places and worlds, asteroids, moons, planets. It is a swirl of energy. Some call it the maelstrom. Some call it the void. Depending on the culture and the understanding of the world that you're in, these things take on different meanings. High up in an ancient tower of bronze metal, a Galapa, an ancient Galapa, stands on a metal balcony of ancient brass latticework. He looks up at a night sky, a deep night sky, and he sees a starscape that has never changed, except for subtleties. On this night, he stands up on that balcony, looking outward, and he sees a blank space, an empty space. far larger than he's ever seen before. He tilts his head and he mumbles to himself. I wonder if that means what I think it means. He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a pair of old knuckle dice. And he rolls them on the bronze latticework of the balcony. The dice score the runes of thought. He thinks about it for a moment. He pulls out a feather, consults his oracle that he carries with him. Flame burns a hot red and black. Before long, off in the distance, he can hear the drums. The drums calling him back home to the new sea. Here, his brow furrows in concentration. He is concerned. The last time these images of the void had been seen, the world was challenged. Looking down from the tall tower that he's in, it's always been a funny tower. It's been here long before he can remember who made it. There are places throughout the area of the new sea that strange buildings, strange construction, strange things of a people that once lived very advanced. But for some reason, they're not here anymore. And while many of these people that do live here now, of many various lineages, they always have a memory of their arrival, and this memory has been handed down through generations of understanding. Great doorways opened up amongst the material world. Travelers either fleeing where they were coming from or fleeing from something that they were going towards ended up in this world. And they found it dangerous at first, but they learned their lessons. They learned how to make it hospitable. They learned what it meant to live in this world and to use the old buildings and the old structures as beginning points in their lives. But here on the eastern New Sea, made up of small villages and small hamlets and towns, all under the canopy of the great tower, a tower of cinder and block and metal and broken glass that rises 50, 60, 70 stories up into the sky, covered with the encroachment of a forest-like landscape that has grown up along it and up into it, and in the hollows of these places is where the people live. The Galapaga looks in the direction of the drums, sees all the lights beginning to shine in these great organic towers. He knows they want answers. All he has is questions. He begins the long journey down the metal tower. And as he climbs down the tower and finally gets to its base, he rests on the framework of a foot. When he looks up, he always wonders, what do these things mean? An arm stretched up into the air holding the symbol of light, the other arm holding a book with words they don't understand. He walks away from this tower and through the busy, cluttered area of the forest, the drums growing louder and ever deeper. And then he stops at the great crossing of a bridge. No one knows who built it. Although some speculate it was built by someone by the name of Brooke. They don't know what that means. They cross the bridge, heading into the deep towers of the old city that they inherited. The drums rolling through the valley and through the island. As he walks through this forescape and this landscape of millennia-old regrowth that tried its best to take back this mysterious place, there the faces stare at him. All the young wanderers, the young heroes, the young people who have thought long and hard about this journey, but they all heard the drums. They all knew it was important. There they sit, all of them turning their faces to look at this ancient Galapaga, a hand in pocket, a hand holding a staff. All he has is wants more questions. And that's what we're finished tonight. See, you didn't have to take notes. Just the intro.
Name?
We'll find out next Monday.
Why is he contemplating the cosmos?
He's caught.
Because he likes stars.
Did you figure out where we are?
Is this
No shit, Sherlock. We're in freaking New York.
Is this where?
Oh,
wait,
built by a bridge built by the man named Brooke.
The ancient tower with the
The Statue of Liberty.
Is this where Oogway went when he disappeared?
So two of my favorite cultural game, or one game, one book. The Shannara Chronicles is one of my favorite.
It's a great.
I don't want to read that.
The movie's so bad, but the books are great.
The show.
The show, yeah. And I don't know if you've ever played it for Gamma World. Gamma World is a D&D post-apocalyptic in Earth. Earth falls apart, and then all the D&D takes over. So that was a game I used to play a long time ago. So very much inspired this idea that, and once again, that's what I love about this system. There's no lore yet to funnel you into a thought process, right? The framework and the settings are so built for anthology, and there's so many permutations of what you could build as characters that you're almost inspired to leave your world so open-ended that your entire characters could be wiped out, but your new characters, maybe in that same world, come across, a mysterious, robotic arm of a plank, that is the transition from that dead character to your new character. So it's like
My entire field of
and the system is a lot more punishing too. Yeah. And I do love the fact that you get to determine your own death.
Nice. Yeah.
Take the hero's way out. You can take the gamble. I forget what the third one is, but I'll look it up and remember.
Coward's Way.
Coward's Way.
Yeah, where you don't die and you just sit there until the end of the combat.
You Zoidberg
Yeah,
out.
yeah, you Zoidberg out.
And then you might gain a scar, which reduces your hope permanently.
Correct. Well, you've been reading
No, I've been
or watching, probably.
I've been listening.
Listening.
I have a lot of hours that I'm
So-
doing mindless work.
I have two things that I thought about Tuck. He is so I kind of like the idea of like integrated. His weapons are integrated to the system. So his shield pops out,
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
So,
and then the axe, like I have hands, and then just
So you're a transformer.
kind of like
I
it
love
just for the weapons.
Yeah,
It's just
perfect. And they
Oh, the
don't.
hand
know
flips back,
about-
and then
so it's Brooklyn, right? So I don't know about Friar Tuck. I think you should be Fire Tuck.
Truck. Fire
Fire
truck.
truck.
No.
He was a fire truck.
No,
He transformed.
Wait. Here's the other thing I was thinking about.
Fire.
My
truck.
deity that I keep connecting to ask about information and to help people.
Is a satellite or a space station.
Oh
To the internet.
shit!
And you're contacting.
That's what it. No,
That's epic.
Here's my funny thing. It's like, oh, what can I use? I can use Google. No. Since I'm using dial-up, be even funnier. Yeah. Or ask Jeeves.
That's
Oh, wait, how about
My deity. Ask Jeeves.
take the best of all the worlds and go to the pile.
That's pretty funny.
Oh dear!
No,
Oh, great
I know.
deity of Reddit.
Wait.
Yeah,
It's Alexa.
that's the winner.
God, it's going to be Alexa. I love
It's
it.
gonna be
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
That's
she's a server.
perfect.
She's what's left of a server farm left on the moon.
Yeah.
Run
That's-
solar, like just run from solar power.
And it's such a fractured archive. It's like your
No,
information is just like
because it's
bullshit.
constantly it's
Yeah.
constantly it has no new stuff, but it's
Yeah.
constantly like, oh, you are in this area.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the United States? What the hell is Alabama?
Or better yet, you just know things completely wrong, and not like the names of the actual places.
We are in West Virginia.
You're
Don't
constantly giving your
understand your question.
All right, everyone. We will
I
be
told you
back
the answer
here
to that.
next Monday for session 1 of Into the Veil, and we'll give this a crack, see how the characters do, and we've got the cool shiny cards out. The characters are built. I've already got most of my structure written that I need written, and we'll give it a go.
And then we have to put these back.
See how it is. Well, I mean, you need to keep them with your character sheets here.
I'm gonna redo my.
That way you don't
because
forget
I
So
on it.
yeah, that's fine.
But these
That's
ones
fine.
don't have sleeves on them yet. And
Yeah,
I wrote all
just
of
take a
this down
picture.
so I know what I got.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was
I'm just
gonna
gonna
do.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
And when
I'm
you
gonna-
get home, go into the Discord, download the core rulebook, and then get the do snippet of the pictures. Don't print the core rulebook because you don't need it
No,
unless you want to buy it for yourselves. But but you can snip the card pictures of your current character and then keep them digital. That way you can review them and do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or you
just
can
leave your
print out
character
that
sheets
page.
and cards
Yeah.
here. That way you don't forget them.
I
Because if you
mean-
forget them on Monday, it's going to suck. So, all right, everyone, be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play games.
game.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to be